All right, well, let's get our week 6 hot read here and then get out of here. So I will go first on this one. Speaking of defense, I am actually going to play my first hot read total. I don't play a lot of totals, but Thursday night, Tampa Bay in Philadelphia, they've got the total set at 53.5 on this one. And I understand the Bucks score all sorts of points, so it always feels like Tampa could hit that on their own. I'm taking the under. Here's what I saw. I looked in Action Labs. 53.5 is a lot. And my instinct tells me when I watch Thursday Night Football, it's ugly. These teams are not ready. They're banged up. They're not sharp. They're not ready for a big week. I hate Thursday games. I don't need a Thursday game. I'd rather see teams play at full strength on Sunday. Instead, we get this kind of like halfway game plan. So here's what I saw in Action Labs. Games that open at 53 or higher, and we're at 53.5 here. We have 17 Thursday night games like that. The under is 13-4 in those games, 77% cover rate, and the under is covering by more than 10 points a game in those games. So 48% ROI. In fact, just last Thursday, the Rams and the Seahawks are this exact game. That game opened at 53.5, this exact line. It finished at 43 points, 10 points under the spread, exactly what we're expecting here. So I think that the Eagles, they play some pretty good defense for the most part. They run the ball a lot. They'll slow things down. The Bucks, they can score a lot, but they haven't done that every game this season. So I like the under 53.5.
I like what you took. I'm riding with that. For me, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns -3. They're taking on the Arizona Cardinals, the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. This Cleveland Browns team to me is for real. And they've played some dominant games against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers, and they weren't able to get the win. But I think there's some things that I think they can capitalize on in this matchup. The Cardinals have really struggled to stop the run this season. They're 29th in rushing success rate. They're 19th in EPA per play, and they're last in explosive run defense. So I think that creates an ideal scenario for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to actually go out there and actually run the ball down their throat and keep Kyler Murray in this explosive offense off the field. And when you look at the way they played San Francisco, to me, San Francisco was live in that game. They won the yardage, 338 to 304. Yards per play, 5.7 to 5.1. They had more rushing yards, 152 to 94. But the biggest difference in that game is that San Francisco was just 1 for 5 on fourth down, and they were only 50% in the red zone. So you had some big swings in that game where you actually had them on the goal line. They got a goal line stop. You had them at midfield twice. They got stopped on fourth down. You had them in field goal range. They don't take the points. They get stopped on fourth down. So this 17-10 game, it could have easily been 23-17 or 23-14 San Francisco. So I think Cleveland being at home, they're in a good spot. Arizona's got to play them early East Coast time. I love the spot for the Cleveland Browns. There may be some 2.5s in the market. Maybe you even want to wait on this a little bit because we all know the public is all going to be on Arizona. But if you can get a 2.5, I think I would bet that now. I even like the 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to think on this one because I like the matchup. I like the run game that you're talking about. That was why both of us like San Francisco against Arizona today. We thought that they'd run the ball, and they did run the ball pretty well. Trey Lance ran well. So I like Cleveland to be able to run the ball, control the clock. I like their defense. They're playing really well right now. The problem is Arizona is a short underdog here. We've seen what short underdogs have done this season. That's not a great spot to bet against. And Arizona, by Action Labs, unbeaten underdogs on week 3 or week 4 or later, unbeaten underdogs are pretty rare. They don't happen very often, and they are 31-23-2 against the spread. So they cover that 57% of the time. So I'm a little torn on this one. I like the Browns matchup. The trends really like Arizona here. For me, it's probably a spot where I'm going to wait and see where the money does come. If the line moves, especially at 3, half point in one direction or the other direction might swing dramatically on how we're playing this one. So I think it's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting. What's your next pick?
All right, so my other hot read, I'm just going to keep this easy. Kansas City Chiefs on the road at Washington. are -6.5 right now. I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing it before it's 7. Washington's pass defense can't stop anybody. I'm not afraid of the Chiefs. I'm not afraid of the back door with Tyler Heineke. Kansas City is going to score points. They're 2-3. They got to stop screwing around. They got to go out and get their points and get the win. We saw a week ago the Chiefs actually won and covered for once finally. So I'm not so afraid of that trend that had been all the one-score games for a while. There's no way this line is not moving toward Kansas City. Against Washington, come on. We're going to get to 7. We're going to get past 7. I'm going to grab it for the key number. I'm going to trust the Chiefs.
I'm not mad at that at all. And I mean, for me, I like fate in this Washington team. I'm not really that high on them. Their defense is, like I said earlier, it's one of the most overrated units in football, but it's still getting that respect. And I think you're asking a lot for Taylor Heineke to go point for point with Patrick Mahomes. So I agree with you.